a no-nonsense perspective, non-rhetorical perspective on what it's like to actually conduct such missions. Now down to the Vikas Regiment itself. You've heard about them very little, if at all. People never see them. People don't know very much about them. The Special Frontier Force was created in 1962 precisely for the kind of operations that you're seeing now. Covert operations against the Chinese. Introducing the Special Frontier Force, or Establishment 22, or the Vikas Regiment. Decisive action, preempting another Chinese aggression. For the second time since the Ladakh standoff began, China, shocked, caught completely off guard and fuming. Seeing Chinese movements towards this location last week, this is where India has moved in, grabbing a dominating position on the south bank of the Pangong Lake. But who were these men who moved in the darkness to surprise the Chinese and occupy heights that look down on the Chinese supply lines? They're very hush-hush. They're drawn from the Indian Army, but not part of the army itself. Meet the Special Frontier Force. Formed in 1962 to conduct covert operations behind Chinese lines, it was this secretive special unit that was mobilized into action on the night of August the 29th. Known also as Establishment 22 or the Vikas Regiment, the SFF operates under India's External Intelligence Agency, the Research and Analysis Wing or RAW, and is based in Chakrata, Uttarakhand. The Specialized Commando Unit is comprised in most part by Tibetan resistance fighters, some of the world's most hardy mountain warriors. Their knowledge of Himalayan terrain and their ability to operate effectively at such altitudes is the reason why this unit is one of the most formidable on this terrain. The officers who command them are from the Indian Army's Parachute Regiment. The Vikas Regiment warriors train year-round for the most grueling operations, where they must operate beyond the abilities of their bodies and facing enemies more lethal than Chinese soldiers. Their history of combat has prepared them for this. After the 62 war, the secretive Vikas Regiment has quietly done its chief task, conducting reconnaissance, sabotage, and other covert operations inside Chinese-held territory. The missions remain in the grey realm of shadow, without corroboration or confirmation, just the way they wish it. The Special Frontier Force saw major combat action in the 1971 India-Pakistan War, with deployments in the eastern sector to undermine the East Pakistan Army. With the Vikas Regiment seeing decisive action against an aggressive Chinese, the commando unit is finding rare mention in the public space. As tensions mount on both banks of the Pangong Lake, the Special Frontier Force's role in the current standoff is likely far from over. Bureau Report, India Today. And as we here at India Today send out our deepest respects to all of the personnel of the Special Frontier Force and the Indian Army who are deployed there, Please know that the nation is with you even at this very tense time, and we know how worried families can be. But this particular terrain is drenched in history, and it's also drenched in the blood of soldiers who gave their lives in the 1962 war. Because just kilometers from this current flashpoint on the south banks of the Pangong Tso was one of the biggest last stand battles in the 1962 war. You've heard the name Major Shaitan Singh of 13 Kumaon. Listen to his story. Seeing the Chinese army advance towards the area south of Pangong Tso, Indian forces quickly deployed troops, not only to intercept the Chinese, but also occupy higher ground in a part of eastern Ladakh that saw some of the bloodiest battles fought in 1962. Chushul in southeastern Ladakh, south of the Pangong Lake, was and remains a key defense area for the protection of the road to Leh. Therefore, occupation of Rezangla on one side and of Gurung Hill and Magar Hill on the other side, overlooking the Spangur Gap to keep an eye and interdict the Chinese, was extremely important. These areas saw some of the fiercest battles of 1962 as 124 brave soldiers of the Charlie Company of 13 Kumaon, led by Major Shaitan Singh, fought almost to the last man and last bullet to stall the advance of an entire Chinese brigade.
Indian Army has captured strategic heights on the southern part of Pangong Tso Lake. These heights have immense tactical and strategic significance, as whoever holds these heights not only would dominate the southern part of Pangong Tso Lake, but will also dominate by fire and observation Chushul town, Chushul airstrip, as well as the defense fortifications of India.
The main threat to Chushul was through the Spangur Gap, a kilometer-wide break in the mountains along the line of actual control, some 15 kilometers away. The Chinese had incidentally built a road from Rudok in Tibet to the Spangur Gap in 1962 itself. And this road was linked directly to China's crucial artery G219 connecting Xinjiang to Lhasa in Tibet. The army had even in 1962 deployed AMX-13 tanks at the base of Gurung Hill.
One of the most important aspects of high altitude warfare is domination of heights. When you dominate a height, you're able to look into the enemy territory, you can see the enemy posts, you can see the enemy logistic bases, you can actually also bring down targeted fire onto the enemy military equipment also. So whoever occupies the height gains a very tactical and strategic advantage in that area.
The army's move to quickly deploy and occupy the Blacktop Peak in Ladakh is not only tactically brilliant, but also strategically extremely significant. This is one of the highest peaks in the area and can dominate the Chinese side for several kilometers. This height dominates the Spangur Gap, Magar Hill, Gurung Hill, and keep an eye on the Chinese movement in Moldo up to Yula, keeping an eye on any Chinese movement and activity coming down from the Chinese highway G219. This perhaps is the reason why China is so extremely upset with India's brilliant military maneuver. With cameraman Kripal Singh in Delhi, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
The China standoff and the new flashpoint in Pangong Tso will continue to be our big focus here on India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.